Racing! Oh, he's gone! He's gone!
Welcome everyone back to Sector 1 Sim Racing. Tonight we're all the way over in California at the Willow Springs Raceway. We will be having Group A in the Next Level Supercup and the Auto 1 Challenge. Joining me in the box tonight we have ASR Adam. How are you?
I'm very good, mate. How are we all? It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm very well. I've had a good Sunday off, so I'm ready to go racing. Joining us for the second race of this evening, which will be the Next Level Supercup, is the man himself, Sean Ghost Muller. How are you, Sean?
I'm very well, thanks, Troy. Good to be back in the box for all the Super Cup action with the big hitters. Just want to give a shout out though to the cleaners here. There is sand absolutely everywhere. This joint, Jesus, just blows in from all over the spot. I got sand in places I really shouldn't talk about.
Yeah, who streamed last week, honestly?
So straight off the bat, we're going to try and get some audio feedback from the viewers. If everything's all good, we'll get the qualifying underway. I think we've got it pretty sorted tonight, and we can have a good run. What are your thoughts on the Group B boy? The Auto 1 Challenge boys. Who's looking fast? Who's looking to have a little bit of trouble?
It's really hard to get a hot pick out of this one, if I'm honest. There's been a few guys near the top end of the timing sheet and such. One guy that's really impressed me so far in practice has been young Wakey, who's been near the top of the timing sheet in every practice session, because of course the timing screen resets after every practice start. We do 3, and he's found himself, top 2, top 3 every single time we've had a practice session. So he's looking good. Evo9 also came in and set a very fast lap straight off the bat, so I'm expecting good things from him. And I think the other one to watch out for is Airborne, who we've seen has been very fast in the past.
Just going off last week as well, the Bad Doctor, from last place up to first, got 2 first places in the Group Bs. He's here to challenge the Group As tonight. Be interesting to see how he goes as well. Following him would be Carbon Boy as well, I believe.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how the Bad Dot goes. He was absolutely clinical last week and left everyone else behind. So he's got a point to prove, I think. So we'll really see how he sets in this one.
Well, I don't think we need too much further to get us going on qualifying. So when you're ready, we'll get on track.
All right, all the guys look ready to go, and they should have set their racing tyres up to go already. The guys do have to commit to their race tyre prior to qualifying, so a little bit of a different kettle of fish to what some of these guys might be used to. Oftentimes people will change their tyres based on where they qualify, but for Sector 1 this season, with the 2 different compounds in play, it's been mandated that the guys have to choose their tyre prior to qualifying. So we'll get these guys underway now.
Before you go qualifying, I better put up the track map, because Filthy went to the trouble of making one, so we'll just go quickly through the track map.
All right.
So on screen, the boys in the box can't see, but we have round 2 at Willow Springs. It's 3.96 kilometres. There's 9 corners. So we're racing at 10 to 8 at night, which is pretty. It's pretty light what we're looking at, but it's pretty late in the night. We've got a 10-minute qualifying, 40-minute race. It's based on qualifying. We also have soft tyres and medium tyres that both have to be used. So, as you can see, it's going to be a technical track once you see it on track, I should say, not as you see.
Yeah, hard to overtake here as well, and bit of a mix-up for strategies. We were discussing it a little bit before. The 1-stop and the 2-stop are going to be a little bit touch and go as to which is faster. Most people are expecting to see the 2-stop being the better. It is probably the more reliable strategy, but if you can make the tyres last long enough, and the softs will be the ones that you really have to work, you may be able to pull off a 1-stop. So we'll see what the guys get down to for this one.
Alright, so let's get qualifying when you're ready.
Alright, we are all good to go then. Guys have been notified.
Qualifying begins right now. Just to make sure we are on screen. Last time we did the full first lap of Group A in the big boys on the slideshow.
That's right, I remember that.
Alright, so we have, looks like Carbon Boy out front. So we know Carbon Boy's for Obsession Motorsport in the Tamar Cars Porsche. Second we have Daz 930 who will be in the Deeds entry, Gamesman. Third we have Wakey in the Revolution race gear for Death Grip. Fifth we have... fourth we have Jim Bob. So Jim Bob's with CJ Esports. He's probably going to be giving me the red hot tip this afternoon because I didn't add his car into the slideshow, but we'll get there, Honourably Airborne, who is racing for the new team this season, Lightning Motorsport, and I believe he is in the Merlin entry. Sixth we have the Good Doctor in the second of the blacklight cars tonight. Sorry, it must be the only blacklight car tonight.
Might be expecting to see a couple of guys come in at the end of this lap to change from the mediums over to the softs as part of the early commitment to the tyre choice for your race. So a couple of guys coming in to change over.
Well, we have Bumcrack in the Auto 1 entry for Ragged Edge Racing. Then we have Airborne. No, he's pitted. They're all pitted. Well, this doesn't help.
We've had an interesting tactic here from Shinobi. He's only exiting the pits to start his outlap now. Nearly 2 minutes into the session, so an interesting strategy from him. You'd think he was going for clear air, but he's come out not far behind the rest of the field here, so I wonder if he was a little bit late to the seat. He did miss out on the test starts, actually, that'll be why. He's not supposed to set a qualifying time because he missed the test starts, so he will be starting at the back of the grid.
Alright, on screen we have King Oscar. He'll be for Team 53 in the complete Angler Porsche. VF in 11th. First of the Aussie Hampton cars. Shinobi down in 12th, probably one we need to talk about. He missed all his test starts, so he will be starting off the back of the grid.
Yep, so he's been instructed not to set a time to avoid the necessity of a red flag.
Alright, so we've got our first times coming around now. We've got a 1:12.2 from Wakey.
That's a great start from Jim Bob there, honestly. It's I haven't seen anything like that from him in the practice, so that's looking good. So a lot of 11.8s there from the guys, so seems to be the benchmark. Yeah, getting under the 12s was a bit of a barrier for some of these guys, so expect to see the fastest sort of times being about an 11.5 to take pole here.
I'll just, Bumcrack's just set the fastest with the 1:11.6, but I'll just jump back to Gert, 17 in the Dadson entry. He's got the Bacchus livery on tonight, just going through a few of them while they're setting some laps. I don't think we've missed too many more. There's only 12 in tonight's race by the look of it. Honourably Airborne we've done, VF we've done.
I do have 14 on my screen. Are you seeing only 12 at the bottom?
I am seeing only 12.
Okay. Well, do you want to run through the current order just to check in on who you're missing?
Alright, so first I have Bumcrack in the lead, 0.171 ahead of Jim Bob in second. Third I have Darkside, who is second of the Auto 1 cars for Ragged Edge. Fourth I have VF. Fifth I have Wakey. Sixth I have Gur 17. Carbon Boy VF has just posted a bit quicker. Carbon Boy's gone a bit quicker. Wakey's down to 7th. Gur's down to 8th. Good Doctor in 9th. King Oscar in 11th. And Shinobi in 12th. That's all I've got. And,
Alright,
and Honourably Airborne in 9th.
It looks like you're missing GTP Greatness and Evil Evo 9 on your screen. So we'll have to do some kind of reset, maybe get you to jump out and jump back in, or maybe get them to jump out and jump back in. But we'll sort that out once the end of qualifying comes around. Currently, to update the stream, we've got Evil Evo 9 in P5, 3/10 behind the leader of Daz 930. And who was the other that you're missing? GTP Greatness is down in P11, currently just about a second off the current pole time.
So in my screen, I've just seen Daz go the fastest with 11.5.
Yep.
And we're just seeing them all starting to split off into pits now. This will be for their second lot of pits, I'd say. So they're doing it pretty good for having 2 lots of pit stops in the 10 minutes.
Evil Evo 9 has popped himself up into 3rd place so far. So, yeah, I was saying he was looking pretty fast before, and he's putting it to work in the qualifying session.
So I'm just looking at Darkside at the moment, and he's getting a little bit of a tow here from Bumcrack. I'm not sure if they're on a fast lap or an out lap. Wait till you see the picture of Darkside's helmet. He's got a Valentino Rossi, I believe it is, replica.
That's brilliant.
I probably got that wrong. But it looks like they're working as a team, which they should be. Good to see. I've got VF in 5th at the moment.
So VF is actually 6th, but yeah, just behind Darkside. So that split is correct. He's 3/10 behind him there. .580 for Daz, a pretty solid time, and these guys, they'll start dropping the fuel load now, and they might just dip into the mid to low 11s here.
Alright, so down in 8th. Down in 8th I'm showing Gurr. Gurr is 0.7 off the lead. And another one I would have expected probably to be a little further up, maybe just waiting for a bit less of a fuel load, is Honourably Airborne.
Yep, so he's just started a flyer on a fresh set of tyres. Well, it looks like actually he's burning fuel, so I think he's just running around the track on the limiter, full throttle in 2nd gear, trying to burn off as much fuel as he can, get himself around and start his final lap with a lighter fuel load than the rest of the team.
Oh, I just seen the King Oscar go off there. He's trying to take out one of the marshals. He's got the 4-wheel drive activated on the Porsche.
Nice.
It's very easy to do around here. I've done about 10 laps and I spent most of it in the sand, so...
Yeah, the guys here have been put on notice for track limits, as well as you know, battling and such. Just give a little bit of extra space to your competitors wherever possible, because we know how treacherous this track can be and how much of a race-ending error it can be to be off track at any point.
Well, we've got Darkside's just moved up to 3rd position, so we've got the Ragged Edge boys 2 and 3 at the moment. Would be interesting to see how Honourably Airborne goes if he gets his fast fuel run on his light fuel load.
Yeah, so I suspect we'll see him come into the pits now because he's still burning fuel. So in he comes, he'll put a fresh set of boots on, go around again, and start his flying lap. So he's not leaving himself much time to do it, but he'll come around and give it one last shot, I think.
I could just see Dadson in chat there saying there's only 12 cars in A. There's not. There's only 12 showing on screen. We're going to fix that as we go to the break between qualifying and the race. Seems 2 cars aren't showing up on my screen, but they're showing up on Adam's, so already starting off with the glitch.
Just to update everyone, so it can't be seen on Troy's screen, but Evil Evo 9 is now in 1st place with a 111.530, and I think there's big drama for Airborne down in P10. He's just gone off track on his outlap here after burning all that fuel, which is going to put pain to him setting another time. He's not going to have a chance now to get around and go again. So that's it for the Kiwi driver, I think.
Alright, let's jump back up with Daz. Looks like he's on a bit of a flyer, so we might, while he's at the first sector of the track, we'll check where Bumcrack and Dark Side are. They're coming around, probably towards the second sector. A little bit ahead. Where's Jim Bob?
Well, Daz has just picked up the dirt. He's put 4 wheels in it, and he's down on his time. He's just ruined his final flying lap there. He was half a tenth down on Evil Evo as far as times are concerned, and now he's not going to be able to set another lap. So that's it for Daz. He cannot take pole position here at Willow Springs.
Just got our eyes set on the main straight at the moment. The 2 RER boys are using the slipstream. Can they improve?
The time to beat is an 11.530 from Evil Evo. Not something that you can see on stream. The Auto 1 cars come across the line there.
No improvement. Where's Jim Bob? Jim Bob's off on his final lap as well. This track's really hurting a few people. The King Oscar.
He may have something to say about it here, Oscar. He's up on his own time. Greatness has gone 11.8, which puts himself up a little bit.
Alright, he's coming round onto the closing corner, I believe it was called, and onto the main straight. Let's see if he can improve his time.
He should do. He will go ahead of Airborne here. No, he does not improve.
Must have
Wow.
lost a lot of time in that last corner.
The guy's really struggling with that last corner, it seems, unable to commit.
Alright, we
So
know.
the race will be red flagged here. I've got a screenshot of the grid there, so I'll send the message to the drivers. We'll get it red flagged. We'll get the 2 drivers that Troy can't see out of the room, and I'll get you to jump out as well, Troy, and come back in, see if everything sorts itself out.
So I'm just looking in chat, and we've got Diego's fan club in the chat. Bad news, they're sand in the VIP toilets as well. Now that's a real problem.
Sandy cracks everywhere.
Yep. Alright, so what I'm going to do is jump out. We will reset, and hopefully we can get all 14 cars. It's a bit of a shame because Evil to take pole and can't even see him.
Yeah, he did a very good job, and he was one to watch. I did point him out, and he was looking good in practice, but and managing to convert. So really good for him. Only half a tenth in it though. Daz was very close. So well done to him, I think.
All right,
Okay.
taking it back to the chat there. How's all the volumes going? Have we got them sorted, or we could adjust something a little bit? We're doing it on the fly tonight because we seem to have things sorted to be able to do that tonight. So hopefully everything's working. Jump back into your room.
Yeah, just sending a message to the drivers in question.
Thank you, Cyborg. The volume is great, apparently, there, Troy.
Brilliant.
Sweet. Probably not that good because I just touched it.
While we are waiting, I don't mind jumping and having a chat with our viewers. Hope you are enjoying your Sunday evening. Big day of motorsport. We had the super taxis, and of course we've got the Formula Mercedes tonight. So that will be one very boring race, let's be real. Be sure to smash that like button. Be sure to get across all our socials, Instagram, Facebook, and if you haven't joined our Discord, the link for the Discord is in the description, so come and join in all the fun at Sector 1 Sim Racing.
Alright, we are. Thank you, Sean. We are back in the room.
Alright, so the 2 culprits have ejected themselves. I've instructed them to perform a cache clear and reboot of the app, and hopefully they'll have that sorted for us in a couple of minutes. Have you just seen Evil Evo 9 re-enter the room, Troy?
I have. And
Very good.
Airborne.
Yep. Alright, it's a good start. Just greatness to go. And then I will set the grid
Alright, so we've got 40 minutes around here. I think this is going to make or break a few drivers. If you're off in the sand here, it's pretty much race over. Just being the fastest may not win the race. It could just come down to consistency and staying on track tonight. So everyone hopefully has got that in mind and doesn't wreck someone's night.
Most definitely, and as we were saying before, the drivers have been put on notice about respecting the space and being a little bit sensible when it comes to overtakes and things like that, particularly when it comes to the final corner, because it can be extremely treacherous over there. Okay, so just waiting on one more driver. That would be Greatness. He should be back any second, I suspect, and then we'll go about setting the grid.
No, Aaron, it's got to be given in person. I just thought I'd get in there quickly.
Alright, GTP is in the room. I can see him.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, so I've got my image of the grid up. So just make sure I get that one right. Okay.
So, while we're waiting for you to set the grid, let's take a look at that track, Matt, one more time. 3.96 kilometres, 9 corners, 10 minutes, which we've just finished qualifying, which will be setting the grid for a 40-minute race. I believe most people will most likely start on softs. You have to use both the tyre compounds, soft and medium. And I think the logistics of tonight will be the one stopper is probably going to be the way to go.
Well, it's pretty touch and go as far as strategy is concerned. I think obviously the two stops the safe bet because you don't have to worry about making the tyres last an exceptionally long amount of time. But as far as the tyre life's concerned, you're looking about 10 to 15 laps if you're lucky and if you're really careful. And fuel will also be an issue for these guys as well. We're expecting to see anywhere between 20 and 30 laps from a tank of fuel. The car does respond quite well to a short shift, unlike the BMW M6 that a couple of drivers drove in a previous season. That car has to be driven at full pace all the time because it loses so much speed when you're short shifting and saves hardly any fuel. This car is very different. When you short shift, you do get a lot out of it, so you can extend your stint by quite a lot.
I also noticed in the short amount of time that I've driven the RSR, I have driven it in previous seasons, but you tend to forget how they drive. Just taking it around the track a few times this week, and it's very throttle dependent on steering as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of a handful sometimes. Generally, it's been a very easy car to drive for most drivers, but with the weight settings that we've changed it to here this season, it's made it a little bit more difficult and added a bit of a skill gap for these guys, which I think is a good thing for Sector 1.
The good doctor's in the chat saying he's shaking like a leaf. Well, you're in Group A. This is the big boys, so let's see how you fare, good doctor. I think you'll go all right to
make you
tell
drive
you the truth.
faster. Yeah.
And we got the Moff in chat. Great to have you back in the box, Sean.
Oh, thanks, Moff. What a nice guy. Checks in the mail.
Okay, so Carbon Boy ahead of Young Wakey and Honourably
While we are waiting, lads, in chat, throw up your podiums as well.
Oh yes, podium predictions. It'll be a hard one. There's a couple of guys who could definitely take this one. It's looking pretty spicy, but the grid is now set and we are ready to go.
Well, I'm ready to go too, so we are waiting. we have NASCAR in the chat. We've got Kazi1 in the chat as well. Evening NASCAR. And Kazi, I should say. All right, here we go. Let's not forget to put this on the slideshow. Sorry, take it off the slideshow tonight.
You've learned your lesson most definitely, I think, there.
All right. Race 1. Group A. 40 minutes.
So, Evil Evo 9 takes the pole position here ahead of Daz 930.
We got any lights? We got lights to the very far left. Don't know if they're lighting up. Here we go. One light, two lights. And we're away. Looks as though everyone gets off the mark pretty cleanly.
We're potentially expecting some carnage in the early stages here. It's a very tight grid all the way through the first few corners, and the cold tyres have been catching people out in the test starts, but everyone through T1 nice and safely, so really good from the drivers here.
Looks as though Evil's got the best start he could hope for. He's out of the slipstream range just about. He's got that followed by Daz 930 and Mr. Bumcrack. Two RER boys is in line astern again, which is good to see for me. We got GT Greatness, which has had a good jump up into 5th off the line, and Jim Bob in 6th.
This is a very clean start, really good sector one from everyone there, no major issues. There's an overtake back there for P10, I think. A couple of cars side by side through that middle sector. But so far, everyone's still with 4 wheels on the tarmac. So the guys did get told that in the briefing. The drivers were all told, let's all try get to the end without coming off the road. And so far, getting it done. And like you say, Evil Evo, a second ahead of the field. He's absolutely walking these guys at this point. He's looking really good. It is important to note, of course, the different tyre compounds that guys have started on. The first 7 drivers are on medium tyres. The Good Doctor in P9 now, as he gets overtaken by VF, is the first of the medium runners. VF is running the soft tyres himself. So Good Doc in P9 on the racing mediums. Airborne also on the mediums in P10. Carbon Boy starts on the mediums as well. Shinobi Wakey on the softs down in P13 as he's off behind Shinobi here. Wakey and Shinobi have both gone off track at the exit of turn 2, and they've gone absolutely flying. I don't think there was contact there.
This is going to show us how bad going off the track will be. We'll be able to see how far you drop behind. You can already see there are a couple of corners back now.
It's looking like it's going to be nearly 10 seconds. Don't forget they've also got dirty tyres as they come back on track. The King Oscar in P12, who is on the racing medium tyres, has pulled away from them quite a lot. So that's really made it difficult for young Wakey here in P13, because he'd started on the racing soft tyres after going into quali with a lot of confidence. And that start has really put pain to his race here.
Just got to keep your nerves down when you the first couple of laps. After the first couple of laps, you set into a rhythm and you start to drive pretty good.
Well, I'll tell you who is keeping a hold of his nerves quite well is the Good Doctor in P10. So he's currently on the racing medium tyres, and he's following Airborne, who's made a couple of positions here over the last lap since we last joined him. Those two are the first of the medium runners, Airborne and Good Dog. So we'll expect to see them drop back a bit from VF, but the gap they've got at the moment is a pretty positive sign for these guys.
So Airborne didn't get the qualifying he wanted. He went for his fuel, tried to use all his fuel up in qualifying, and then on his outlap for his final fast run, he bended into the sand. So he's got to start from the rear of the grid, and he'll have to work his way back up. But he's got 40 minutes to do so the race isn't over yet.
Yeah, so a really unfortunate mistake that absolutely ruined his qualifying, put him right down the back. Took the gamble, risked exiting the pits for his final flyer with about a minute 13 to go, and we've seen these guys, they're taking about a minute 12 to do a lap. So it was very touch and go to make it in the first place, and then he put 4 wheels in the dirt, and that was just it. But he's looking really good here at the moment, though, chasing VF, who's on the soft tyre, and Airborne is in the slipstream range, so he's getting an advantage from him and driving as fast as a soft runner, which will really help his race later on.
Just checking back up the front. Evil's just holding that 1 second gap out off Daz. It's good to see Daz not letting go, but Lightning Motorsport have set their dominance on the start of this season. They're leading the championship.
Yep, they've put their foot down for this one. Evil Evo 9's having a fantastic race. Daz is doing very well to stay with him here. It can be really frustrating when a driver runs away from you like that, but he's really keeping that gap down and driving a pretty faultless race at the moment, and he's just about within slipstream range. Again, The RER cars, both line astern and P3 and 4, they're looking really good as well. It's really nice to see two teammates, you know, one position aside on track. It's very rare to see that here in Sector 1 because we've got so many different categories. Oftentimes there's never two drivers from the same team in the same race, but to see two, you know, nose to tail here, it's really good.
I'll tell you what's also good to see is a team working together as well. I know a couple of seasons ago I was with Hijacker and just, not that we didn't work together, we just seemed to be in the way of one another, and might have caused a few positions to be lost, but it's good to see tonight that they're working together.
Or Darkside, he fails to follow the first rule of motorsport there and never hit your teammate. Bumps the back end of Bumcrack on the way into turn 3 in the braking zone, which might have held Bumcrack up a little bit, but they're still nice and close to the guys out the front. There's about a second gap between first, second and third each, but they're holding it tightly. What they can hope for is that Bad Dog gets close enough on the exit of this final corner and can give Bumcrack a little bit of a bump down the straight with the advantage of the slipstream, which will add a little bit of speed to him, because of course neither of the guys in front of them have the advantage of a slipstream, but if these guys can make use of the one that they have, they could do some serious damage.
Now if I was in radio chat tonight, I'd be saying they're almost the same speed. Sit behind him, save some fuel, and when you're in the pits you'll be able to gain a few positions, but the pit crew chat tonight isn't on.
Yeah, we've just seen Bad Dog go for a move on Bumcrack as well. Very facilitated by his teammate, but an interesting strategy there. You don't really think that it would be beneficial there to make the overtake, but Bad Dog was looking faster, looked to have the pace, and hopefully now he can pull Bumcrack along to Daz in front, because Bad Dog's looking really fast, and we saw that excellent performance from him last week. He's got a point to prove here.
Well, Bad Dog has taken to the Porsche like you wouldn't believe this season. He struggled a little bit in the M6, but he's doing really well. GTP Greatness down in 6th, so he's definitely making... Oh, he's dropped the spot, I should say. He was in 5th earlier on, so Jim Bob's got around him. Gur 17's followed in 7th. The Bacchus car for Datsun Racing.
Looks good, that car, doesn't it?
I reckon it'll look really good when we get to one of the earlier events during the day. VF down in 8th, so VF's having a bit of a lonely race. He's got the second of the Lightning Motorsports cars following him, and I'm guaranteeing Airborne this is not where he wanted to be for his second race.
Well, Airborne's in a pretty good spot here, because you've got to remember he is on the medium tyre. First of the medium runners puts him at a decent advantage, and it is commonly preferred to run in a race where you'd run two different compounds. The preference is to run the worst compound first when you've got a heavy fuel load, and run the better tyre with a lighter fuel load so you get the most out of the pace they can offer. So he's in the best spot right now that he could probably hope for considering his qualifying, but you're right, he would have been hoping to qualify further up the field.
Carbon Boy, he's having a good season this season as well. He started off in Group B, but he's made himself to Group A pretty quick, and he was showing a fair amount of dominance in Group B to stick with the Good Doctor. Good Doctor's no slouch. Sorry, Bad Doctor.
He had a good race last week, and he was on double duty as well, so he had to run Challenge and Supercup. So he's done really well there, and coming around to Willow Springs with a 1 week turnaround, he's doing pretty well to be in the top 10 here.
So the Good Doctor's slowly going backwards down to 12th. And then we're followed by Wakey, who was one of the ones that crashed at the beginning of the race. So another one of the good drivers from round 1 who seemed to really have a good race and stick with Airborne. So to see him down the back's probably not where he wanted to be either. So Shinobi's in as well. Shinobi in 14th.
14th, and an early pit stop to get off the medium tyres after 8 laps, or 7 laps even, to get himself in there and get onto the soft. So I'm predicting now that we're going to see a 2-stop from Shinobi. The question is, how many of the others on track are going to pull a 2-stop as well? Because if any of the medium runners are planning that, they'll be in the next couple of laps. Otherwise, they'll be going for until after the halfway point at the very least.
I start, so we might jump back up the front. Evil now is out to a 1.6 second gap to Daz. Definitely got the pace going. And then Daz is now 2.2 seconds off Darkside. So Darkside's dropped off a little bit, and also has Jim Bob in fourth, who's got around Bumcrack.
We've got an overtake for P10 down here. The King Oscar going for it on Carbon Boy. Both of these drivers have dirty tyres as they come into turn 1, and Carbon Boy loses out to King Oscar here, drops out of his top 10 position we were just talking about before. They both went off at the exit of the final corner there, all on their own. But yeah, bit of a switch of positions into that turn 1 there.
Tell you what, you get some really good camera angles at this track.
I agree. I've seen some of them in the practice sessions. They look really good, really dynamic. So really, really cool stuff.
So where are we there? We're about turn 5. Turn 5 and 6. They're very, very hard on this track to judge.
Jim Bob's got the better of the plumber as well at some point here. The plumber's really chewed through his tyres, by the way, just to update the viewers on our tyre standings at the moment. The front guys all on soft tyres. Bumcrack looking to save some fuel here. A big short shift down the home straight here in the toe of Jim Bob as they come through T1. But he's really worn out his left side tyres a lot more than all of the other guys around him. Everyone else from P1 down to about P7, they're running about the same amount of tyre wear on their soft tyres at the moment. So not much to split the guys. They're all driving kind of the same speed through these tyre-killing corners. A lot of load on the left-hand side, making them really struggle here.
Currently on lap 10, so 10 laps, and we're 12 minutes into the race. It's going to be a few laps tonight.
So I know there's a 2-second gap between Evo 9 and Daz 930, but there is a decent fuel deficit as well. We're talking about 5 to 7%, but that can be about a second's worth of time in the pits, maybe even more, because the fuel gauge that they get given has a predicted lap count on it, and if you use more fuel, you're going to be instructed to put more fuel as well. So it's a double-edged sword if you're burning extra fuel. So this fuel save from Daz is potentially going to turn into a big advantage once these guys pit in after their stint here. Go into the pits from P8.
We see the Datsun crew go to work. Pretty quick stop. Tyres only.
So 10 laps in, goes on to another set of softs here. I believe he was on softs before he pitted. We'll just confirm that. Yeah,
so
he was.
They're definitely two-stopping. It's too early to be stopping now for a one-stop.
Yeah, well that confirms that Guru's on a two-stop because he's still yet to run the medium tyre. So he owes us at least one more stop. So he goes 10 laps, so he'll go to 20 on the stint if he's running the same amount of tyre wear, and then he'll be looking at about 15 laps on the medium tyres. We're expecting to see a lap count in the mid-30s here somewhere, maybe 34 laps. So he'll still have a decent stint to run on the mediums, but looking to pull as much pace out of these softs on the stints as he can.
Just looking at Carbon Boy, he's got back around King Oscar. Alright, Daz and Evil are in. There is a big difference. Darkside's in. Darkside's got the best fuel save.
The leaders are all in. Yep, a decent fuel save from Darkside, but a lot of those guys hovering around the mid-50 mark. Bumcrack with the most fuel, or VF even was 61%. But yes, it looks like Daz has got the jump on Evo as well. Well, it looks like a couple of the guys haven't fueled up here.
Yeah, it looks like Darkside's come out in front.
So he's got over 50% fuel left in the tank. So in theory, if he continues as he is, he can run a stint of equal length on these medium tyres and go without refueling there. So he's got track position now. He is on the medium tyres, so a lot of switching and changing here. Greatness in P1's currently on seriously worn out softs, with a 1.5 second gap to Darkside, who is currently running fresh mediums. Airborne also on worn mediums down in P3, might be going for a one-stop if he extends the stint much further. Daz has gone on to the racing mediums as well, as also has Evil Evo and P9. So all of our top three, or net top three, that were running ahead before are on the medium tyres now, so it's fair game. Although Daz and Evil Evo are running different fuel loads here. 3/4 of a tank for Evo 9 and about an 1/8 less for Daz in front, who was managing to save a bit more fuel.
But what we are seeing are the two Lightning Motorsports come back together to the front end of the field. So Honourably Airborne has made up some great positions if he can stay with this group till they pit again, which I think will be pretty hard to do. But if he can,
well, there might be a bit of
really well.
There might be a bit of team orders here because Airborne can do a lot here to hold up Daz and allow Evil Evo to sneak on through ahead of both of them. So there might be a bit of communication between the two drivers. He's really held him up through there, has Airborne on Daz.
Looks like Gurr has taken a bit of a turn onto turn 3 and 4. Come round the corner, he's just got clips the inside curb, spins him around, and then gets a tap from Mr. Bumcrack. Had nowhere to go.
There's an important move for the lead. There's a very important move for the lead going on right now. Bad Dot goes around the outside of Greatness on the entry into the T final, and Greatness goes off, puts 2 wheels on the dirt. It is only his own fault. You can't be blaming anyone else for that one. 2 wheels on the dirt. I was talking about that before. As soon as you have anything on the dirt through that corner, you're going absolutely flying into the fence. There's also a move on for P2 here.
Just checking the replay out. Can't get pinned for going around the outside. Alright, P2.
So it looks like Airborne has fallen behind Daz here, and he's not managed to find a way to allow Evil Evo through. The question is, does he let his teammate on fresh mediums through while he's on his worn mediums? I think it's in the best interest of both the drivers here for him to let him through, but he is of course not obligated in any way. The question is, what does the team say? Because Daz is starting to pull away.
Yep, that's get out of the way, please. I need to stick with Daz.
Yeah, I think this is going to be absolutely crucial for Evo's race.
I think
does Airborne let him through?
I think we'll see a little bit of a let pass down the straight. Here we go.
There was a lift there. Great teamwork from the two guys, so a little bit of communication there. A lift from Airborne to let him through nice and clean. And I think we're not far away from seeing Airborne come into the pits here as well.
He stays out.
He's still in the slipstream crucially as well. And Evil Evo is just about in the slipstream of Daz as well. So he's just managed to keep it together enough with the advantage of the slipstream into the final corner. He's got back close enough again. So the race is still on here for these guys.
Now just another mention to Carbon Boy, who's worked his way from 10th up to 7th now, so he's on the move.
He's looking good. He is on worn out mediums. And it doesn't look like he's had a stop yet.
So he's in line for a one-stopper. This could change the game again.
It could be. So I think if we're looking at a two-stopper, the guys might be pitting around the end of lap 15 for the end of their medium stint, because we've seen, of course, a couple of the soft runners, they pitted at the end of lap 10 and 11. So that suggests that if they run another stint on those tyres, they'll have to do around 15 laps on the mediums.
Just jump back to 14th because I can see a little bit of battling going on here with Shinobi and Greatness.
Well, Greatness has just come out of the pits on fresh medium tyres ahead of Shinobi, who's on worn softs after pitting about lap 7. But Shinobi's going to go up the inside here. There's a bit of contact on the way in. Both guys being very sensible there. It's easy enough to get through at the start of that corner, but the final part you really do not want to be side by side. Greatness will have a run into T1 though.
And as his tyres warm up, he's going to have far better grip.
He is on a slower tyre, but of course with much more life left in it though. So it's very even between these guys. Hard to pick who has the best car at the moment.
Well, we might just jump up a few positions there because it looks as though there's a bit of a battle going on between Good Doctor and King Oscar. They're nice and close.
Evil Evo is also right on the back of Daz as they approach the final corner as well.
I'm not quite sure who it is, but there's also a nice little close battle, probably 4 or 5 positions back. So I'm guessing that's Carbon Boy.
Yeah, there's a couple of clumps of cars here. It's looking really spicy for a lot of these guys, but everyone being very sensible with their overtakes so far. Nothing too ambitious. Everyone's been making the smart moves here so far.
Good Doctor pulls
Well,
out of the slipstream.
They might go 3 abreast here for T1 between Wakey, VF and Carbon Boy. Wakey goes up the inside of both of them. Wow! That was insane.
Good Doctor to the inside, so he's made that stick. He's got himself 2 positions.
Up to P11 now.
Alright, so looks
Fairly
like it's
good looking softs too.
Looks like it's on for P2. Daz keeps touching the grass. He's got to watch touching the sand. Sorry, he's got to watch them curbs. They'll spit ya.
Yep, he's going to have to be very careful, especially at that last corner. We've seen it already. Now, as far as car difference here between these two guys, we've got about a half a tank and some pretty healthy mediums on the car of Evil Evo 9 and P3. And there's a little bit less fuel on board Daz's car in P2. So he currently has the advantage as far as car is concerned, but he might be touch and go for fuel towards the end of the stint. Might have to find himself pitting a lap early.
So while they're battling for second and third, it looks as though Darkside is just holding a nice solid 2.2 second lead at the moment.
Darkside's done a great job here. He's done a fantastic job on strategy. Got himself track position and got himself away from the fighting by not fueling up. And now he's looking really solid for the win here.
And he also pulled in with a tiny fuel advantage over the second and third, but not too much. But it's good to see he's got a handle on the Porsche.
Well, the crucial thing about his fuel save was that he had over 50% left, which means he could run an identical length stint and make it to the end with fuel on board. So he was able to not refuel. He's now on coming to the end of lap 18 with 28% fuel on board. So he's got plenty of time left in these tyres. Running a pretty aggressive fuel save here, but still managing to hold out about 2 seconds on these guys. And we're not far past halfway here. Only 18 minutes to go for these drivers.
Just looking at Honourably Airborne and Mr. Bumcrack, he has certainly lost some pace. Oh, he's off the track.
Oh, wow.
Airborne's
Commentator's
gone.
curse strikes again.
Not good. That'll be the worn tyres. He needed to pit.
Yep, he's run very far on those mediums. I feel bad for the car, so he would have been going for a one stop. It might be now that he has to decide, no, I'm going to have to pit twice. Carbon Boy in for a new set. And in comes Airborne. That might have even been the end of his stint as well.
I think it would have been, because 15 minutes out of a set of soft is probably not too bad, or 17 minutes I should say.
So it would take you 15 laps to get to 18 minutes. So he's going to have to do 14 to 15 laps on these soft tyres now. So he is going to be able to do a one stop here, but he's going to have seriously worn out tyres at the end of the stint.
Shinobi's in again. Airborne fills to 87%, or 87 litres, so that's definitely
So
going
he'll
for
be
the
good
long
to the
haul.
end now. Yep, he's in this to the end now. So there are a lot of guys who owe us their second stop here, but the front three could go all the way to the end on their tyres, potentially. Daz currently with the best looking tyres. They are looking pretty poor on fuel though, so I think these guys are all planning on a second stop rather, and another set of soft tyres.
So it looks as though Darkside's just starting to hurt. The gap's down to a second. Maybe a little bit of a mistake through one of the corners. That's all it takes.
Well, he's running considerably less fuel than these guys, so I think that the fuel save he's being forced to do is starting to hurt him. So I expect these guys to box about lap 21 or 22. The smartest of the three of them will pit on the end of lap 21 here, because that will potentially undercut the other two.
Oh, it looks as though Evil just took a little bit of understeer into the corner there. He's lost some time back to Daz.
The gaps are spreading out. Bad Doc's pulled away a little bit as well. He's just extended it to just over a second. So only a couple of laps until we see these guys pit for the final time, put on a fresh set of softs, and start running to the end. The fuel advantage for the guys in second and third may lead them to jump Bad Doc in the pits as well. So It's going to be a very interesting one, and one that I'm very excited to see play out.
So if you're a Bad Doctor right now, do you try and keep that 1 second gap and then wait for a move from the two behind, or do you just take the early pit stop and try and get out in front?
Well, there's so many options for him here. I think the best course of action would be to do your best to mediate that 1 second gap, hold it at exactly what it is, and save as much fuel as you can doing so. So don't oversave and allow yourself to be caught by them, because as long as you're out of the slipstream, you're not offering them any extra to what you've got, and they're being forced to work with the same car. But the other thing to think about, like you say, is do you pit a lap early and protect yourself from the undercut. I think we might actually see all of them pit at the end of lap 21. So they all pitted at the end of lap 11 from their softs onto their mediums, which suggests that the end of the lap 22, if they run an identical stint on these mediums, is what they're going to be looking at. Having said that, they might go slightly further. It looks like Bad Doc is good for another 2 laps maybe. He's got 14% fuel left on board, and there's considerably more on board Daz and Evil Evo, so he's going to have to put more fuel in. In fact, they're in order of fuel as far as the least to most, these front three. So the fuel would essentially even them out at this stage, but it also depends on who takes their tyres first. So it's going to be very close once they come out of their pit stops here.
I'm just down at Jim Bob, and it seems as though he's lost a lot of positions, because I remember seeing him up in about 5th, he's down in 10th, so maybe he's had a bit of a mistake himself.
Well, he's run his fuel right to the very limits here on his mediums. He hasn't worn them in too much, but it looks like he's probably going to be going on to softs till the end now, with 13.5 minutes to go.
Let's see if he Honourably Airborne can get past Jim Bob. Looks as though Jim Bob's got out in front as well, so Honourably Airborne has a long way to go on one set of tyres, if that's his strategy.
Yeah, so that crash at the end of his last stint, I think has really been nailed in the coffin for him here. He's lost a lot of time there, like we're talking 10 plus seconds, and it's going to be very hard to work any of that back. He is on for the fastest lap here though, goes purple through sector 1.
Evil goes into the pits. So this is going to be interesting to see when everyone joins back in after their last pit stop, how the order becomes.
First to blink here, so he will fuel up. He has the best fuel out of all the guys in that top 3 there, and he's fueled to just over 50%, so only 25% that he's put in there, or 25 litres rather, and he came in with 25 off the back of that last stint. So VF goes by on mediums, and of course Evil Evo's on racing soft, so he's going to have to get by him as quickly as possible, and I suspect here this is VF's last stint as well, because he's got just about the same amount of fuel as Evo 9 behind. He closes right up to him there.
So what Evil doesn't want now is for VF to make a mistake and take him with him. Looks as though
VF's seen him there, but oh wow, so VF gave him the extra space at the last second and ruined his own corner. Stuck 2 wheels in the dirt. Very easy to understeer wide at that corner at the best of times, but I think he was caught off guard by the extra speed that Evo 9 had through there, and made an error that put him in the grass. The first 2 are in, so you see the fuel difference there between Bad Doc and Daz, just over double the fuel for Daz there, and there was of course 25% on board for Evil Evo 9 before. So if you jump on board with Evo 9 here, you might be able to see who comes out of the pits first.
He might get the jump here.
I think he's going to get by both of them. There they are as they go past. They're all right on top of each other. This is amazing. Round the outside for Evil Evo 9 at the first corner. That is absolutely fantastic strategy from the Lightning driver. Retakes P1 here. That was the most nail-biting pit stop sequence I think I've ever seen.
And he needs to press on here, because it's going to take a few corners for the tyres to warm up for the 2 behind. So he needs to make that gap while he's got it.
Yep, this is the part where he ekes out his advantage. So slightly less fuel for Bad Doc on board at the moment. I think he was the one with the best as they came in, or it might have been Daz, I forget. But he's got just under 50%. Evil Evo 9's got pretty much bang on 50%, as does Daz 930. So Bad Doc with slightly less fuel than the guys around him. Daz looks like he's struggling for pace now. He was right behind Bad Doc, but he's dropped back to just over a second here. And Darkside is very close to Evil Evo 9, so he's had a lightning sector through there.
just on board with Darkside at the moment. We'll see how intense this slipstream is. If he can make any gain here. Well, we know Bad Doctor is definitely not going to let him go. He's on a mission tonight.
It's about a 10-litre fuel disparity between the top two here. So Evil Evo's in the best position, but of course Bad Doc has the tow, so he's got every opportunity right now to fuel save as much as he can. He can actually work back a lot of that fuel that he's not put in here over the next couple of laps.
You can see just the Evil just runs just off track there, and you can see the dirt on the tyres straight away.
Yeah, really, really hard to keep the cars gripped up once you do chuck a wheel or two in the dirt, but doing a really good job here as Evil Evo, and Bad Doc is he's in the pound seat here. I think he's still using plenty of fuel, but with that slipstream he's going to be saving without even trying, and a bit of a short shift there from him there as well.
Yeah,
goes purple through the second sector too. Yeah, he's using it. He's using it. I think he might lift off here as well. He's not going to go for a move into the final corner. Bit more aggressive than I expected to see him. He doesn't do much of a lift. He just gets on the brakes a little bit early, but follows through here, and he'll continue to short shifting down the straight here. So he's played a really good strategy here, I think, has Bad Doc.
Bad Doc does go the fastest, 11.3. So they've just taken away from Daz at the moment. He's just fallen off 1.7 seconds from the dark side, which that's all the tow. The tow makes all the difference.
Daz has, he's absolutely lost it here. He's just not had that raw pace in this final stint, and this is the part, this is where the energy comes back. That middle stint is where you start getting a little bit bored, your lapse concentration. We saw a couple of drivers that ended up off track because they couldn't quite handle the stress that comes with driving for extended periods of time. And now in this final stint, your energy all comes back because you can see the finish line, you can smell the end. And Daz just hasn't quite come alive like the two in front of him have.
No, they're definitely leaving him behind a little bit. The gap's now 2 seconds. Mr. Bumcrack slowly making a little bit up on the front three because he was out at 7 seconds earlier. It's now down to 6.7. Do a bit of a run through the field here while we're going at it. Carbon Boy, 16 seconds off the lead. His closest competitor is Bumcrack. And he's in P5. VF in P6. The Aussie Hampton Porsche. We've got Wakey, one of the good big runners in the Group B last week, last round. Up in 7th in Group A. He's definitely going to be happy with that.
Yeah, he's looking very impressive. I think I remember actually his first Community Series appearance, and he was off the back. You know, he was really struggling. Had no idea of the combo, the car, nothing. It was very clear that he was new to the game, and to come in to Group A here and be running mid-pack in P7, I think it's a fantastic skill curve that he's had. A really, really solid improvement from him.
Also the Good Doctor, who's been called up today to Group A and is sitting in 8th spot. That's a really good drive from the Good Doctor. Gurr in 9th. Sorry, that had a cough there. Gurr in 9th, we've got King Oscar in 10th. Jim Bob has definitely struggled tonight, and he's down in 11th. Was up to 5th at one stage. Shinobi in 12th, who hasn't made any kind of ground tonight, and he really struggled not making them test starts, and it's hurt his night. Another one's GTP Greatness, who's not exactly where I expected him to be down the back.
He's heading off somewhere. He's on seriously worn tyres, much worn than the guys around him, and he's way at the back. So he's probably, you know, done one less pit stop than the guys around him, and he's, you know, still where he is. So he's had a bit of a shocker here. He won't be happy with this one, I'll tell you that. He's a very good driver.
Also Airborne went on the one stop, has not worked at all. He's now down in 14th. One of the front runners I would have expected today. Had his strategy maybe been a little bit different.
Yeah, important thing to note about Airborne though, he has pitted again at the end of lap 25 and put some racing soft tyres on the car. So it looks like he's aiming for the fastest lap here to steal that point from one of the guys up the front.
Alright, so we go back up the front. Looks as though Darkside's still keeping that nice little tow. He's definitely going to need some fuel to be saved, so he doesn't want to lose it.
Well, the fuel gap between the two cars is closing with every lap. There's less than 5% in it now. I think, what are we looking at here? 22% on Bad Doc's car. He's thinking about the move now. He's happy with his fuel. There's about 3% between the two cars as far as fuel is concerned. So there's almost nothing in it here. 5 minutes to go, lap 29. We're probably going to see about 3 more laps from these guys, and I think both cars are going to make it home comfortably.
If I'm dark side, I'm saying to myself, there's 5 minutes left. There's probably 4 laps, potentially 5. I'd be sticking behind there until the opportune moment. It looks as though he's pressuring Evil into some mistakes, though.
That's absolutely what you want to do here. You want to keep the risk to yourself down, stay behind, not get too aggressive, but show your nose just enough to add the pressure to the driver in front and perhaps force them into a mistake if you're lucky.
What that is doing with them playing together in position 1 and 2 is it's letting Daz in 3rd position here slowly catch up. The gap's now down to 1.7 from 2 seconds.
I'll tell you something else that's going to change this fight for the lead as well, is the driver in last place there, who's just gone off track and just gotten in the way. And the other thing is that Evil Evo 9, has started chewing through his front tyres a lot faster than Bad Doc has. So Bad Doc has a tyre advantage, and he's about to have a fuel advantage as well. They're very close on fuel now.
So they're probably in the... What kind of lap times are we in now? They're probably sitting around the 112s. Or they're still running 111s.
So last lap was a 112.1 for Evil Evo and a 0.2 for Bad Doc. So just hovering in the low 12s at the moment. The lap before was an 11.4 for Bad Doc. So pace is starting to fall off now. I think Evil Evo's starting to struggle on those front tyres, and Bad Doc isn't really going for a move. So he's actually being held up by Evil Evo at the moment.
Just realised I can put all that information up on the screen. So they're running roughly similar times. They're in the 112s. It looks as though Evil is definitely coming under pressure. He's making mistakes nearly every corner.
He is, and the gap to Daz is coming down as well. So Bad Doc needs to make a move, and he needs to make it soon, because Daz is down to 1.2 seconds. 2 laps ago, it was 2 seconds. So Evil Evo is starting to hold him up now, big time.
I can just see we're coming into some traffic now, so this can play havoc as well.
Well, it's going to help Evil Evo for a moment here because he gets a bit of a slipstream advantage, but blue flags for Carbon Boy here in P13 as the leaders catch him up. So hopefully he'll pull out of the way for the upcoming set of corners.
I reckon we're going to see a move from Bad Doc pretty soon. Now we're on board with Carbon Boy in the Tamar cars for Obsession, and he is currently in 13th spot. Hopefully he moves offline for him and jumps out of the way.
He's got to jump out of the way for these guys. He's got blue flags being waved at him at every corner. But Evil Evo's going to be pulled out of range here of Bad Doc behind by Carbon Boy as he moves to the outside to let the guys through. A little bit of contact there actually with Evil Evo. It looks like he's working it a little bit, and he might get stuck in between the 2 drivers in front.
Tell you what, he's holding his line. He's gone off.
Oh, he's gone off all on his own there, as has Daz.
Good Doc for the outside run here.
Yep, this is the move for P1, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, he pulls back.
Bad Doc tries around the outside. He pulls out of it early, but that little bit of pressure is going to really help him. The fuel disparity has completely changed. Evil Evo now has less fuel. He's on the light. He's got less than 10%, and Bad Doc has 11. So he's looking much better for fuel at this point. 1:35 on the clock. This is 2 laps to go here.
Bad Doc's looking like he's about to pounce. It's also bringing Daz into 3rd, who's getting closer and closer. The gap's down to 1 second now.
Daz didn't quite take advantage of the issue that the guys had there. It looks like he may have struggled to get Carbon Boy a little bit as well. But the gap only 1 second now. As soon as the move for P1 happens, and you can guarantee it's going to happen very soon, they're going to get slowed up enough to allow Daz into the slipstream. It's going to become a 3-way fight very quickly.
It still looks as though Bad Doc is lifting off here to stay behind. He's leaving it to the last lap, it looks like.
Well, it's very hard to overtake there without a serious run, but he's going to get a run down to T1 here, but he will be forced to the outside again. 48 seconds on the clock. This will be the last lap for these guys. 33 laps here at Willow Springs. Big Willow Bad Doc can't quite get close enough at T1, but he's going to think about it very soon. He's right on the back bumper, looks to the inside, but Evil Evo covers him off. This is a great defensive drive from Evil Evo so far, with a tyre disadvantage and now a fuel disadvantage as well, and less than a second to Daz as well. It's going to be nail biting this one. It's going to be very close.
But you can see the tyre difference just in the way the cars are steering and handling. It looks as though Evil just is a handful of a Porsche and Bad Doctor is on cruise control.
He's in much more control, but he's got to work it now. This is all or nothing for these guys. The winner's in sight, and Daz is right in it as well. 5/10 back from Bad Doc. Bad Doc's going to need to get a run out of the final corner. He's not going to be able to get close enough to go side by side in the near future. So he's going to have to get a run out of the final corner and go to the line ahead of Evil Evo. On the brakes into the final corner. Here we go then. They hit that final apex. There's a run there for Bad Doc. He's got the overspeed. Is he going to be able to get past Evil Evo before the line? He pulls to the outside. He's not quite going to get it. There's .025 between the two cars. Daz takes third with a fantastic drive there. Oh, wow. What a podium. What a podium.
Bombcrack brings home fourth. Fifth will go to VF. It's a good drive from all these blokes. The Aussie Hampton crew will be happy with a fifth. Sixth will see Wakey. I think you'll be happy with sixth where he is back at one stage. Good Doctor for seventh. It's a great drive.
Oh, fantastic from Good Doc. He was on the outside of the top 10 in the early stages.
Gurr for 8th and Jim Bob will take home 9th. We've got King Oscar in 10th.
A couple of guys getting lapped there, shooting for that fastest lap. I don't know if any of them got it actually, but wow, what a race. You could not take your eyes off the battle for the lead at the end there. That was amazing.
Well, that was a good race. A few strategies didn't go to plan, and a few offs definitely wrecked some people's races. But yeah, there was a few battles up and down the field, which we got to see, which is good, and a good finish. So that's a good streaming view as well.
Yeah, I can't believe this season so far. We've gone to two tracks that a lot of people aren't really big fans of. The admin have said themselves that they're trying to get us to tracks that people tend to steer clear of a lot of the time whenever they can. And so far, it's just been action-packed, race after race here this season. Season 5 at Sector 1. So I think the admin have made a fantastic choice with the tracks this season. So there was battles all up and down. The top three, the next three were all together for most of the race. And then there was a clump of guys towards the back as well that were battling all the way through. Evil Evo 9 takes the win. And pole position as well, so extra points for him there. And Bad Doc gets the fastest lap, so huge points return for those two drivers there.
I'm not going to read through the results, but they're up on screen at the moment, as you can see. And Adam just said, Evil gets the pole position and the win, and Darkside gets the fastest lap. So there's been a few good drives from a few people in that race, and probably a few drivers there that kind of wish they might have had a different approach, but that's racing. So if we could maybe drop in a few driver of the days, and what do you think for driver of the day there, Adam?
Oh man, it's so hard to say. I think Daz really flew under the radar in that one. Of course, he was in that battle for the front, but he dropped off the pace in the start of that last stint, and then he pulled back a whole 2 seconds on the two guys in front over the course of that last stint. So I think he's done really well to get to where he was. Wakey, I think, is young Wakey's. Oh, he's got to be one for me. I think we could give him driver of the day. P6 in only your second race in the main series here, and Group A as well. I think that's a fantastic result for him, and he's looking like a real talent for the future here at Sector 1.
Yeah, I'm going to my driver of the day. It's probably not what everyone would think I would put, but I'd like to give it to Good Doc to Bad Doc because he went really well and up to second and fought right to the end. But for Good Doc to get the call up on the day and to finish 7th in Group A, I think I'll go driver of the day to the Good Doc.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job there, and he looked like he was having some hardships in the early stages as well. So a great comeback from him, I think.
All right, so I'm just jumping over to the second room here. We will bring Sean into the box when he's ready, and on screen we have the good doc driver of the day. The good doc, the good doc, the good doc. So it looks as though he's got a fair bit of fans going on.
He's a popular man. Right, I'll leave you two in peace. Enjoy the Sandfield box. Have a good call for the Super Cup.
Thank you.
So I will take 10% of that credit for the good docs driver of the day there. I did give him a little pep talk today, so Ghost driver coaching in full action there. So a bit of breaking news here in the Super Cup room is, unfortunately, it looks like we are missing a driver. It looks like Kiwi Raikkonen has not made any test starts and is currently not in the room. So I've received no notification on where Kiwi Raikkonen is. That is a massive blow for Datsun Racing. He was looking really strong, especially with the last round as well. So currently, though, all other drivers are on track. All test starts are completed. A little bit of housekeeping. Mountain Goat will receive a 2 grid spot penalty for an infraction in the last round. But I'm sure that won't stop the kid for doing, well, kid things, because that's what he does. Currently, in terms of times, it's the usual suspects up the front. So we've got Corgi, VLX, and Brocky. I've seen Brocky and VLX in the 10s, which is frankly quite ridiculous. A couple of the guys have also been practicing how to get from the infield back on track as quickly as possible. So I'm not too sure why they're doing that, but yeah, anyway.
Very expecting.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to note was TX3 put a bit of a lap down for us during the week, and don't they make it look easy to run a 10?
Oh, yeah, I had a look at it and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool story.
Alright, so same as the first race, this is now next level Super Cup. We have a 10-minute qualifier and a 40-minute race. Ready to go when you are, Ghost.
Alright, I'll let the boys know and we'll get underway. So this one I think's got the potential to be one of the greats. All the ingredients are there.
Yep, you got all the fast ones. You got the likes of Speedy Tyres, Davey, Brocky, Diego, D-Flow, Mountain Goat, TX3, Corgi. They're all in this one too. Let's get it going underway.
Alright, so the guys have been told that they must start on their race tyre, and early indications already here that we do have a little bit of strategy play from a couple of drivers. It looks like VLX will be starting off the mediums, and it is the Muffin Man as well who's off the mediums. Very interesting early. I like this.
Oh, we've got a little bit of footage on camera that we didn't need, so I've got that out of the way. Yes, so first out on track, Captain Muffin in the Allied Civil for Team 53. Captain Muffin is definitely one of the fast drivers. Second, we have Speedy Tyres. He's definitely not second on the track at the moment, but might let him get there past the first sector and sort it out. Looks as though Diego's second on track, who is now in the Aussie Hampton car for Aussie Hampton Racing. Third, we have D-Flow. They're for chill-out systems for racing cars like Legends. Speedy Tyres we have in 4th spot currently for Lightning Motorsport. One to watch out for. Speedy's definitely fast around this track, and that's for the Merlin entry for the Lightning Motorsport. Karen 5th for Deeds. Brocky in 6th for CP Motorsports and Bez Media. 7th we have Luck Goes My Way in Melbourne Polytechnic. That would be for Lucky's Lawn Care. Lucky is currently a teammate, number 1 driver. 6th we have Corey Hack. Now Corey Hack is for Red Mist Racing and Green Beacon. 7th we have DJ Brain for CJ Esports. I'm not sure what the sponsor is for this one, but it's D'Angelo and Believe something or other. Jimmy's gonna hate me for that.
D'Angelo Towing, I believe.
Towing?
I'm not. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Probably a handy sponsor to have around here.
Morgan, second of the Deeds tonight. Morgan, major first effort in round 1 to get back up to 3rd position, I believe he got. 4th position, I should say. I'll take all of that back, but he definitely made some big advantage, because I don't think he started off the back of the grid, so he made a lot of spots. TX3 down in 13th. And he will be the only Auto 1 entry for Ragged Egg Racing tonight.
Alright, so Diego's about to cross the timing line. I'm going to get our first indicative time here. Goes, oh, look at D-Flow straight into a 1:11.197. Fantastic time from D-Flow. Brocky, though, straight to the top. 1:11.047, establishing a little early bit of dominance. Couple of notables there. Ooh.
Corgi up to second.
There we go. The big hitters are coming out to play already. Now, we do know that VLX, TX3, got to stop calling VLX, or Godzilla as I like to call him. Now, we know he is starting on the medium tyre, so he's actually off sync here, so he's still on his outlap at the moment. But definitely my qualifying so far is D-Flow. Fantastic time from D-Flow there in the RCLL Chill Out Porsche.
Yep, and he's on his own lonesome as well, so he's fresh air, no one to think about. You can see in the background there, looks as though it might be Karen. No, it was Davies. Just moving aside, letting people through.
It always astounds me though, nearly 4 kilometre track, and look how close they all are. Like, really?
I've just seen Lucky go off on the side of the pits there, side of the track. Quick little replay, just slow down for the corner and drop the wheel.
So I'm going to keep... Sorry, go ahead, sir.
That's
Hope
all
you
it
got it.
takes.
I'm keeping an eye on TX3 here at the moment. It looks like he was purple sector for sector 1. Godzilla mode is definitely activated here. Oh, he's got a penalty though. Oh, huge drama.
As he burns it, there's no one around, so that's and it's qualifying, so it's legit to do. Okay, we're gonna have to let that lap go now. So Brocky back out, so he'll be on an outlap now, won't he?
He will be on an outlap. He's got, looks like he's got the goat there in front of him. The goat's looking very internety at the moment. Definitely going from Shadow Realm to Shadow Realm.
Alright, so the goat, I believe he's in 10th, righto. We didn't mention him, so he's the Revolution Race Gear Death Grip Racing entry tonight. So that's one we missed in the call out. Not the best start for the goat this season, but I'm sure he's looking to improve. He is looking very glitchy. Let's hope he can keep that away. So Rocky crosses the line again on the outlap, start his fast one. Might jump back to TX3. 11.6 for Speedy, moves up to 9th. Just see what TX3 crosses on the second sector and see if he's up or down. Where it might place him on the grid. He looks like he's got the car under control.
But Brocky, just keeping an eye on Brocky here, he's coming through the Budweiser balcony up towards Munro Ridge. Some of these quarter names are absolutely fantastic here at Willow Springs. But then they took the night off when they get to turn 9, because it's actually called turn 9. But we're going to call it the closer, just for something different.
All right,
He's down it. Ooh.
down a little bit. TX3's about to cross the line. Does he go better? No.
I should be on his flyer now, I believe.
All right.
So, yep.
Oh, someone's glitching bad. I can see him all over the track map. I can only imagine that would be a mountain goat. Yep. Alright, hopefully that passes.
Oh, on board with TX3 at the moment. He's purple. He is purple.
Corgi improves.
Look how close it is.
11 flat. Just about to come to the second sector now for TX3. Is he still purple or has he lost a little bit?
Heading up towards the sweeper, he's still purple, but look at that, there is absolutely bugger all in it. It's 0.007.
You got to get this last corner perfect because it's off. It's not off cambered, but it's definitely something you can't see right around to get the apex spot on.
Uses the whole track as well. White line to white line. Does he go to the top? TX3. No, stays third. Lost a bit of time there in Sector 3. Look at the times, though. There is nothing between the top four at the moment. It is 0.102. You can throw a blanket over them.
Brocky's caught in some traffic. He's pulled over to let him past. We're now on board with Corgi. So Corgi is for Blacklight in the Xenox, I believe. Entry. Oh, he's off track. Oh, he takes the pits. Good exit. Captain Muffin goes.
Oh,
up into sixth.
Nice lap from the Muffin Man. Another one will be starting on the medium tyre.
Mountain Goat puts himself up to 7th. Corey Hack into 6th. 11-2. Corey Hack's definitely got some speed on him for a newcomer.
Well, he really did show that in the Community Series when he first started. He was the one to beat in the Community Series, and that's definitely translated as Brocky now is going quicker. The Cyborg coming off a 5th position in round 1, which is most of us would be happy with the 5th position, but we know how the Cyborg thinks and how the Cyborg works. 5th position, he doesn't do 5th. So he's looking to bounce back with a vengeance here, going for an unprecedented 7th title. Something ridiculous like that. I've lost count, to tell you the truth. He's way up now. He's 0.149 up. This is a classic Cyborg lap here.
Oh, he's got glitching in front of him.
Yeah.
Mountain Goat is glitching real bad now.
Comes through turn 9 now. Is he going to go straight to the top? Is he going to extend this lead? Of course he does. A 110.9. That is a mega lap, and I'll call it early. That's not been beaten.
Corgi doesn't improve. TX3 coming up to the 2nd sector now. Has he got anything left?
So he's on an out lap at the moment. He'll get around for what? Oh, this will be very touch and go here. He should be right though. Should get around for one more clutch flyer.
D-Flow might be on an out lap too, is he?
No, he's on a flyer at the moment. He's coming through turn 9, aka the closer, in the RCLL Chill Out Porsche.
Oh, TX3 just gets through. What's D-Flow got?
Oh, he just stays 4th, but he gets one more go at it.
Who we got running next? Looks as though someone's off track.
Morgan's pulled in,
Alright,
so he's done.
We're on
Alright,
with,
jump.
Sorry.
Oh, here we go, Godzilla mode. 0.133 up, purple sector. TX3 is absolutely flying. Oh, I've missed calling this bloke driving. He does some absolute mega speed. Him and Brocky are just some of my favourite drivers to absolutely call, and they're putting on a show here. Coming through Munro now, down towards the big sweeper and turn 9. Can TX3 go to the top? He's lost a little bit of time through sector 2. He's absolutely flat out through the sweeper. No lifting whatsoever. Through turn 9, back down to 4th gear. Clips the apex, runs it out as wide as he dares. Takes a little dirt with him. She's all good. Can TX3 do a clutch? He does! A 110.859. I haven't said it in a while. Clutch. What a lap from TX3, and on the medium tyre as well. That is a huge advantage. Mega lap. Look at the gap though. 0.043 between 7-time and TX3. Yes, I know he's not a 7-time champ, but I'm going to call him 7-time. Corgi there in 3rd for Blacklight. Another fantastic qualifier from Corgi. D-Flow in 4th. My definitely qualifier of the day. That made no sense, but I know what I was talking about. Corey Hack in 6th. 7th is Speedy Ties. 8th is the Muffin Man. 9th is the Goat. 10th is Diego. 11th will be Lucky. 12th Karen. And 13th is DJ Brain. Check, y'all.
DJ Brain. Another one we missed, so... No, we didn't miss DJ Brain in the call-out, but that is a tight top 3. Even top 4... there's nothing in it. The top 5 is... What's the top 5? Here we go. Davey, there's 0.3 separating the top 5. Top 10 we have 0.6. Nothing in it. So it's anyone's game. Mega lap from TX3 and Brocky. There's nothing in that. And Corgi, I should say as well, because they're only 0.2 apart. This is going to be one epic race. Back where we left off at round 1. This is going to come down to people's strategies now. I'm not sure if you want to be out first. I think you want to maybe be sitting in second, maybe fuel saving a little bit.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one, definitely. But we will have a red flag. Just got to do a bit of a grid reset there.
All right, let's get some podiums on. I'm going to say, I have to say TX3 because he's my driver, but TX3, Brocky and Corgi, I don't think, oh actually, I'm going to put Morgan in the mix because he is the black horse in all of this. He's always there, so it's the top 4, any of them top 4 are going to be the top 3 for me.
I like D-Flow here.
Yep, D-Flow's also a dark horse.
I just reckon the front 2 might get into a bit of fisticuffs, and I reckon, or the front 3, and I reckon D-Flow just might be able to pull a bit of a master stroke.
Well, just need to get away from that slipstream, and you're away. It's going to be hard. These top 5, 6, top 10 are all very close, and not one of them will give an inch either, so hopefully they all stay on track. We don't want to see anyone go off. We want to see them race from start to finish.
Exactly, 100%.
All Adams put on chat, GDR will be second by turn 2. Standing start mediums are slower. But it looked like he went all right then in the test start you didn't see, so we'll keep that into account.
Alright, so hopefully won't be too long there. Might actually get Mountain Go to do a reset while we are waiting. Because he was definitely shadow roaming.
Well, we might run a bit through the chat here. We've got Alan Rourke on the chat as well. He's saying, evening lads and lasses, apologising for being late. Good to hear the ghost back in the booth.
Oh, thanks, Alan. Appreciate that.
TX3, hell yes, sorry, Marcus Priest, which is Bad Doctor. Hell yes, TX3. So we have another one of our fan favourite drivers in the chat there, Ragged Edge Racing. Aaron says, TX3 got the extra 10th from the race suit I hooked him up with.
Oh, of course. It's classic Aaron. Always little head wobble there.
So one driver we haven't seen from round 1 or round 2 so far is Knuckles, who's in chat at the moment. I'm not sure what he's doing, but he's not racing the first round, and he hasn't been able to get into Group A, so he won't be racing this Group A, but he might make Group B, so...
He'll come and spank us all in Group B.
Tends to be the way when you're racing Knuckles.
Yeah. Par for the course, as they say, but that's alright. They do say, to get faster, you got to race the fastest. That's how I look at life. Okay, we go.
Kazi one saying it's going to be a 3-way tie.
Oh, where is everyone gone? What's going on here? D-Flow, Morgan. Come on. Let's get everyone to please enter. Please enter.
Well, it's also good to see the volumes are working tonight, which has seemed to have plagued us all through season 4. I finally spent some money and we hooked up a Go XLR, and it's working tonight. It wasn't working round 1. We got it for round 2.
Well, it only took you 3 years for it to be delivered, didn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Blame that on COVID.
Yeah. Appreciate your patience here, ladies and gentlemen, of course. These setting the grids, never fun. Trying to do as quick as I can. And of course, being Group A drivers, you don't want to put them out of position because they will let you know about it pretty quickly.
I'm also waiting to try out my bleed button. But
Well, if we get a race like we did the last one,
yeah, it'll be off the start
it
of
will.
the race.
Okay.
So I took a photo around Willow Springs for the event today, and I tell you what, you can get some pretty good photos around here too of the cars and their scenery. So if you
Yeah, the time of day is excellent.
if you got GT Sport, it's not a bad little track to get some viewing from. Not too far away. There's cars going around the track at the moment, and
Okay, it looks like we are just triple checking the grid there. Looks like we are right to rock and roll. Okay, I reckon we get this bad boy underway.
ready when you are. Would you like to call the start, Ghost?
Oh, look, if the viewers would like me to, I wouldn't mind calling a start. It's been a while, see if the old voice can handle calling a start.
All right, well, it's all yours. I will just make sure I take off the slideshow because that didn't happen last Group A.
Here we go. Next Level Racing, Porsche Supercup, Group A, Willow Springs. The Duel in the Desert. The Battle of the Dust. All right, that's all I've got. TX3 will lead him away from pole. TX3 is on the medium tyre. Brocky out of 2, Corgi out of 3, D-Flow out of 4, Morgan out of 5. Our big hitters up the front. Pressure is going to be intense for this race. Waiting for some lights now. Flat 6 is engaged. Here we go. Orange light. And we are about to go racing! Looks like everyone's got off the line very well. Brocky's got an absolute launch. TX3 goes to cover straight away as they head into Castrol Curve. But TX3 is going to lead him in through turn 1. He does. That's huge. Early strategy call right there from TX3. If he led that early, this could be massive. So TX3 now, as they swing through. Oh, look at the Brocky though, all over him. Corgi's right there as well, so's D-Flow. They are all desperate to get past TX3. He is holding him up brilliantly.
It's going to take a few corners for the mediums to warm up. I'm guessing TX3 starts on mediums.
He certainly does. So it's TX3 and I believe the Muffin Man are on the medium tyre. And it looks like Morgan is as well. So a couple of guys have just gone a little bit of a different way, which is interesting to see. This is what we like to see. This is where the dual compound really comes into its own with these early strategy. Up the front, TX3, 0.2 to the good. Brocky's right in his wheelhouse, so he's not going to give him an inch here as they come through the closer now towards the end of lap 1. Brocky now looks for the move. They're going to go side by side in the Castrol Curve. Corgi wants a piece of this. They're 3 wide. 3 wide early. Oh, look at that. What a move. That's stunning from Corgi. Absolutely stunning. But now Brocky's going to have the inside now and takes the lead. Corgi, though, with the windscreen wiper on for ultimate intimidation.
Davies and D-Flow are right there.
Oh, D-Flow runs a little wide. Oh, he just sends it straight up the inside of TX3, though. So TX3's dropped 3 spots in the space of 6 corners. That shouldn't bother him, though. He'll just get his head down, get into his flow. Now the Cyborg, I expect the Cyborg now to absolutely punch out qualifiers here. Him and Corgi and D-Flow have got to go for it.
Now, you know Corgi's not going to let Brocky go. You can already see a gap opening up between him and D-Flow.
Look at TX3 though, he's all over the back of D-Flow here again. Tell you what, for a guy on medium tyres, he is really racy as Morgan now slides it up the inside there at the closer.
Speedy tyres in 6th, slowly got the slipstream on TX3. As Morgan goes for the overtake.
done. Nice job, Morgan. Morgan's up to third now. So here's another one on the charge. And he's on the medium tyre as well. So this is what Morgan does, though. Anything with low grip, he seems to just have an innate skill.
Yep, he turns into drift mode.
A little bit of background. Morgan's was in the practice lobby earlier before, and his actual warm-up was in the old M3 on intermediate tyres drifting. He just... Oh, Mountain Goat! Mountain Goat's been shadow round.
Did you see that? I can't seem to...
He's gone. Oh, it looks like he's gone. I don't know where he's gone. He has. The Goat looks like he's gone.
That's not good.
Huge early drama.
Well, we're on track with DJ Brain and we can't see anyone behind him and I can't click a 13th spot. DJ Brain goes off. It's commentator's curse.
On board with the Muffin Man at the moment, currently in 7th on the medium tyre as well. He's got Corey Hack in front of him and Speedy Tyres. Nice job here from Muffin Man. Another one who'll just get into his rhythm. I really do believe this dual compound racing really suits these guys that do a lot of FIA, which Muffin Man does.
Yep. Corey, I believe he's a bit of an FAI driver as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I think a lot of these top guys are. Actually, I believe Brock is the only one that doesn't race FIA, if I'm not mistaken. And Morgan, I don't believe those two do, but I pretty much believe everyone in the top group here does race FIA.
And we've missed an overtake because Corgi now has the lead.
He has. He's got past Brocky. So Corgi picking up from where he's left off in round 1. Brocky, though, he's not going to let him go here.
That was a bit of a lift there from Rocky. Maybe he's content sitting behind.
Maybe, yeah, just save a bit of fuel, save maybe a little bit of that tyre.
Tell you what, the cars look a bit twitchy through the close-up. Back in third. TX3 sitting behind Davey.
It's quite a bumpy track as well. You can see the attitude. See the attitude of the RSR, just skipping and bouncing. I'll tell you what, look at this battle back here for 5th position. This is on for young and old. We've got Speedy, we've got Corey Hack, we've got Muffin Man, we've got Lucky. All in a fantastic fight here. Karen's involved in this as well. Oh, this is like a scrap. Oh, Karen's gone! Karen's gone! He's off to buy a budding sausage. That's it. And he's still... Yep, no, he's still not on the track yet. Still waiting. Still waiting.
See if we can grab it.
Oh, there he goes. Oh, he nearly comes across D-Flow. Oh, that was massive. Oh, that would have been drama in paradise right there. There's no secret these two share a bromance, and that nearly ended it right there.
See how he pulls back out on track in the replay. He's right in front of D-Flow. So has D-Flow had a bit of a problem? Because he was
looks like he has. Trying to keep track of all these drivers going off. There's been a lot of off-track excursions here.
I can just see in chat because it's to my left. Looks Good Doctor's excited. Lead change. Cough, cough, cough.
Yeah. So Corey Hack now in 5th position. Speedy in 6th. Muffin Man in 7th. Lucky in 8th. Lucky doing a nice job here. This is a really classic Lucky drive at the moment. Just keeping his head down, trying to keep it on the black stuff. He'll wait to make his move. He's quite a patient driver.
Just looking at the lap times, they're in the 112s. A little bit off the pace of the front runners. We'll go up to Corgi. So his last lap was a 111.7. So they're flying.
They are. Look at the consistency though. So the last 4 laps from Corgi here are 111.79, a 111.57, a 111.79, a 111.73. That is just ridiculous. That is crazy consistency.
So Corgi's doing that on his own. Rocky's sitting in tow, and I can just see from the last corner there that Rocky's pretty content to sit behind and feel safe.
I don't want to overemphasize the fact, but the fact that Morgan here and TX3 are right there, and they're only 2.5 seconds off the lead, and they're both on medium tyres.
softs. So they're probably winning at the moment, coming out on the mediums. Great job from Morgan too.
This is the Morgan we've grown to know and love. He's just really, really good at low grip racing. It's actually, I keep emphasising it, but anyone that's been in an S1 lobby when we do road cars on comfort tyres or soft, street tyres, he is just in another level.
Looks like Corey Hack's broken the pack, and the pack behind him seems to be a little bit of a battle pack, which has Speedy Tyres, Captain Muffin, and Lucky. Speedy Tyres.
Ooh, Speedy's in. Yep, and he was on the medium as well. So nice job there by Speedy. So he's getting those mediums over and done with. That's it. I doubt he'll put the mediums back on. He wanted to get rid of them as soon as possible. I expect him to come through the back now. As Lucky and Muffin Man are having a nice little dice here. As Lucky goes around the outside. Oh, Lucky, what a move. Stunning. There is a tyre difference, but that is a great move to go around the outside there. That does require some semi-brass ones. Nice job from the Lucky. Up to 6 now.
Diego in 8th, bit of a lonely race. Now Diego is no slouch in the Porsche.
You nearly.
But sitting down in 8th, and he's currently 9 seconds off the lead, and we're only 10 minutes into it. So it looks as though Captain Muffin just had a bit of a bobble too.
Gap up the front is 0.166. There is nothing in it. Now, here's a little bit of interesting facts here. The gap between the two medium runners is coming down. It's down to 2.1. So these two battling up front is playing into Morgan and TX3's hands here.
This is going to be a bit of an eye-opener come the second stint, because they're going to put mediums on and the other boys are going to put softs on, and they can run softs to the end from there on, and whatever gap they make is going to be what they need for the last run home.
Just looking at Corey Hack here at the moment. Very consistent lap times. He's actually closing the gap down to TX3. If he can just close that a little bit more, he could be a factor come towards the back end of the race. He does have to put on the medium tyre.
What kind of fuel numbers have we got running at the moment for the top 5?
Okay, so it looks like Corgi here at the moment has used, what's that, just under 3/4 of a tank. Brocky's got a significant fuel advantage on him though. Quite significant. Morgan's doing classic Deeds thing, use the most fuel. TX3's probably maybe a litre or 2 less than Brocky at the moment. And Corey Hack there is actually better off than all of them.
Well, that's a good number for Corey Hack, because he's got a little bit of ground to make up. But if he can get onto these top 5, he's in the running.
So looking at the tyres of these soft runners now, they're starting to hurt. That left tyre cops an absolute belting around here.
Also pretty impressed with Lucky down in 6th. Like, he's not far off the lead at all.
No, nice drive from Lucky. He's got a little bit less fuel than probably the top 5. His front tyre wear isn't too bad though. He's actually nursing the fronts really nicely. He's gone! He's gone! Oh, commentator's curse. Big guns, Troy. He's on absolute fire tonight. I think that's 3 he's done already.
Oh no, that's heartbreaking.
And that's the punishing thing here at Willow Springs as well. If you go off, it takes an eternity to get back on the track. You lose so much time. That's dropped him back down to 10th position now.
Well, the gap's down to 1.3 now from Morgan. It looks as though Morgan's pulling away from TX3 a little bit. And it's coming down even further. Looks as though... Sorry, go.
Oh, I was going to say, I know the Deeds... Oh, Corgi! Corgi's had a moment! Corgi had a moment and has gifted the lead to Brocky there.
Well, it looks like I'm on fire tonight, so we won't be looking at TX3 anymore.
Oh, you can see the fatigue of this track.
Morgan straight there to Corgi.
Yeah.
So
just half a metre offline here. Oh.
The mediums are coming into play now.
So it's a Cyborg now out to a second lead. This could be huge for the race. We know once you give this bloke a bit of breathing room and he gets into his Cyborg mode, he is very, very difficult to catch. Morgan now. Oh, that was decisive from Morgan. Just straight up the inside at the sweeper. TX3 just looks like he can't keep the pace of these guys up the front at the moment. They're all going again on these tyres. This is really interesting here. I honestly thought the medium runners might have come in a bit early, just trying to get rid of those mediums, but they're going to go as long as they can as the Muffin Man comes in from 6th position.
Kind of don't want to take my eyes off this at the moment, but it's about all that's happening on the track from what I can see. The rest look a bit spread out. And Morgan is on a charge. He's bringing the time down to Brocky as well. Brocky looks loose.
Does. Those soft tyres are very second-hand. They're retreads now.
And we've missed Speedy tyres to take the fastest lap with the 1:11.4.
That's a very good lap. Now, I did read somewhere in the chat, apparently he's on a DS4. If that's the case, that's just silly.
I didn't read that. I'm sure it could be true.
These young kids with their reflex times.
Surely we're going to see a pit anytime soon. It's really hurting the CP Motorsports car.
Yep. Oh, there we go. First to blink was Corgi. TX3 goes with him. A nice fuel save from Corgi as well. He actually had TX3 covered there. So now what does Morgan do? Does Morgan really press this issue or he just sits behind? If it's the Morgan we all know, he'll press this issue. Now these two do have a storied history. Make no mistake about it.
Who we got just in front? That looks like... let me run through the field a little bit. So
Looks like DJ Brain.
He might come into a bit of play here as well. He's not far in front.
Oh, geez, you can see Morgan. He wants a little nibble. He has a nibble here, a nibble there. Does the old lounge, shows the nose. I'm going to call it though. I expect the Cyborg in this lap. Morgan's going to try and go on the outside of the sweeper. The outside, are you kidding? Oh, don't do that. There's Brave and then there's Brave and Insanity is a very fine line.
Then mediums just look like there's so much more of grip now.
Yep, and Cyborg goes around it again.
This looks like Morgan up the inside.
Yep, he's lining him up. Into the Castrol turn. Gets it done. Nice move. Decisive.
Now does Brocky have an answer?
I'm just trying to work out Brocky's strategy here.
Oh, I think he's going the one stop.
TX3 now gets past Corgi. That's crucial. Corgi has switched to the mediums for this stint. TX3 now expecting to absolutely drop the hammer here. I'll tell you what, Speedy in 6th position. That is a great drive.
Speedy pitted early too.
He's very much off kilter with everyone else, so he's working on a completely different abacus at the moment.
So do we have Corgi on the mediums right now?
Corgi is on the mediums at the moment. Yes, he is. I will check in with our other medium runner, which is Morgan, who's currently the only one yet to stop who's still on the medium tyres. We've got Corey Hack, who is still hasn't stopped yet. TX3 is the first of our racing soft runners that was on the medium at the start. Corgi is on the mediums. Speedy's on the racing soft. He's on the alternate strategy. Muffin Man is now on the softs. D-Flow is on the mediums.
Muffin goes
Lucky.
faster again.
Wow, 1:11.0. Oh, Lucky and Diego having a nice little tussle here. This is a different tyre strategy here because Diego is on the soft. Nice job. Gets it done. Nice. That'll make the fan club happy.
Well, it's actually TX3 that went the fastest, so he's definitely charging.
Yep.
Diego crosses the line. Does he improve? Can he go faster? Doesn't make it in.
All right, so gap to the lead at the moment between Corgi and TX3 is 8.5 seconds. So that's the gap we'll keep an eye on once the pit stops all play out.
looks as though Morgan just in the slipstream range, but he's edging out of it.
Yeah.
Looks as though Brocky might be on the one-stop here.
I think he might be. This is a brave call from the Cyborg. Who are we to second guess the champ, though? No, he thought about it. He thought about that.
Corey Hack goes in. That'll put TX3 to third.
Yep.
Watch the Rent Mist Racing Green Beacon team go to work. Quick pit stop, put some fuel in.
Just checking on that. Look at that gap coming down, though. It's down to 6.8, 7.9 now. TX3 is absolutely lining up the timing sheets at the moment.
Now does Corey Hack fill to the end? Not sure if you're going to want to do 20 minutes on one stint.
So we've just got a bit of, just got in my ear from our co-commentator, the Adam Man. He reckons Morgan's going to one stop as well here. So this is really surprising. I tell you what though, the fuel difference between Morgan's car and Brocky's car is extremely significant. And when I say extremely, Brocky's just under half a tank. Morgan's got a quarter of a tank. Morgan's in. Brocky's in. Here we go. Look at that fuel difference. That is crazy.
Right, so Brocky potentially only going to have to put in about 40 odd litres. I think the pit stop window's about 15 seconds.
Yep. And look at the gap he's got over Morgan here. He has gapped Morgan by quite a substantial margin.
But that, I believe, will come down pretty quick because Brocky now has to run the mediums.
Yep. Now he's got the Muffin Man in front of him who's on the soft tyre as well, so he won't exactly be easy to pass.
Good job for Muffin to be up into fourth too. Speedy up into third.
Oh.
Speedy's on a pretty different strategy. He pitted early.
He did pit it quite early. So I'm expecting Speedy to come in. Looking at my numbers here, I reckon he'll be in maybe another 3-4 laps time. So he'll be out of kilter, but I reckon he might be strong coming towards the back end of the race. He's driving very smooth at the moment. Not a lot of movement in the car at all. Very consistent. Corgi's in. Cool, Corgi's in.
So he's done one lap on mediums.
Pretty much. He thought, bugger that, I'm getting rid of these things.
Alright, so TX3, so we need to go back to Brocky now. So back to Brocky in fourth. So 11 seconds, that's enough. That's enough to get past TX3 on, because TX3 is going to have to do another pit stop. What kind of fuel can Brocky make it fuel-wise to the end?
Well, just having a look here on Brocky's numbers here. Brocky's good to go to the end. He is good to go. So he will run long to the end on medium tyres. He is getting held up a little bit here from Muffin Man. This is going to hurt. This is the one-stop strategy can work, but traffic really does need to play in your hands here. As TX3 last laps a 1:11.0, a 1:11.2, a 1:11.3, a 1:11.2. He is absolutely putting in qualifiers here.
Just going to jump back to Corgi because it looks as though him and Corey Hack are side by side. Makes the move. Pretty
Corey
easy
Hack.
too.
Yeah, Corey was really nice there. That was very much a Scaife open the door for Crompo situation.
Right, so
That's smart racing though. I like that.
Sorry, this stint from TX3 needs to be faultless and fast because he needs to bridge that gap out to about 15 seconds at least. He is going to have a whole heap better tyre towards the end of the stint if Brocky's not pitting again.
We have seen though it is not easy to pass around here.
TX3 is a lot of track.
He is, and Brocky still has not got past Muffin Man here at the moment. He's actually getting, now he's really starting to get held up here. And Muffin does not have to get out of the way. Not at all.
So the
Oh, Brocky's gone! Brocky's gone! Brocky has gone! He's off track! Huge moment! Massive moment!
Let's see what happens. Maybe a bit of dust on the tyre. Does he collect the curb? He's just collected the outside. It's thrown him into the fence. Lucky them spectators have got a chain wire fence.
Wow!
That's game changing for Brocky.
You just don't see that. You just don't see that.
So he's got a lot of ground to make up now. Takes a little bit of pressure off TX3, who's going to come under fire from Morgan, because Morgan's on the same strategy as Brocky.
The problem with Morgan, though, that's a long way to go on softs. And we know TX3, when he gets the red mist down and absolutely drops the hammer, he is uber fast. But we know Morgan is not afraid to get the elbows out. Really liking Muffin Man's drive here. He's just warmed into this race nicely.
Yeah, he's holding it together too. Like he's not putting a foot out of place yet. I don't want to keep the camera on him too long because it seems to be the thing tonight. But speedy tyres too in second. He's losing a bit of time to TX3, but it's not massive as he goes in for his second stop. So Speedy...
This is...
Oh, he's nearly out of fuel, so he's got 13 left.
I'll tell you what, in terms of championship here, I know it's early in the season, but you've got to talk championship implications here at the moment, and Lightning Motorsport and Ragged Edge Racing in the combined teams championship, this is huge for them. They can really bridge a gap here. Speedy now comes out in 7th, but he's going to have a nice fresh car. He's got a fresh set of softs on.
Speedy down in 7th. So he's got Diego right behind him. We haven't spent much time with Diego. And he's still down in 8th. 30 seconds off the lead.
Boy, has this track just thrown a cat amongst the pigeons.
Yeah, I could just see in chat there that the fan club saying that's not an area you see often from Cyborg, and it's not. He's normally picture perfect.
Yep.
Oh, that looked like Lucky. Lucky's off again.
Oh dear.
Let's see if we can see what happened. It looks like he's just run wide.
Yeah, he's got a bit of damage as well on the rear end. Probably not the place on a Porsche where you want damage.
Oh, he's hit the wall too.
Yep.
Then
Looks like he was probably going to come in this lap as well. That's always the worst on in lap when you just have a little error.
And DJ Brain down in 12th. Sorry, 12th. Not 2. So he's got TX3 behind him as well. So he's not far off being lapped, but this could be due to a very different strategy. I'll tell you what, the camera is not liking cars tonight.
So Morgan's starting to catch Muffin Man here as well. Now, Muffin, I do believe will owe us a pit stop. I reckon he'll be in this lap. So that he's racing really speedy at the moment. That's the race there for the final. Well, Corgi's looking pretty good, I reckon, for that 3rd position at the moment.
Corgi's the fastest lap as well. TX3's
Yep.
in pits.
Wow, look at that fuel as well. Absolutely nothing left in the tank. So Morgan will inherit the lead here. How much will he inherit it though? That's the big key.
And if he's running a long stop on softs to the end, that's a big ask. Alright, so TX3 comes out in P3 by the look of it.
P3, let's look at the gap. So we'll wait till they go through the first sector. We'll get a true indication of the gap here. Alright, it's looking like it's about 5.9 seconds. 12 minutes left. Here we go. Strap in, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the tortoise versus the hare. First, TX3's got to get past Corgi first. That's...
Well, Corgi still up the front, so he's having a really good race too for Blacklight. Tell you what, TX3 loves using all that track down through that section. As you see the wiper going on the Corgi Blacklight entry. Now we know Morgan definitely capable of winning it from here, but he's got a long ask on soft tyres.
It is a long ass. He come in on lap 18. So that is a long stint on softs. He's going to have to rein in that naturally exuberant style that we know Morgan has. And he's actually going to have to be very smooth here, not overdrive the car. Nice drive from Corgi. Really impressive once again. Blacklight have found themselves an absolute jet. TX3, two-time champ. We know what he's capable of. And he sets a purple sector as well. Corey Hack, so far my drive of the day. Been a fantastic drive. But he's got the cyborg all over him here. And what we do know, an angry cyborg is a fast cyborg.
I can just see in chat there, good luck to get that camera off my car. But yeah, Brocky, he's a few mistakes that he's put in already in the first two rounds. Not normally you would see from him, and he's got some ground to make up as he's taken on Corey Hack as we speak.
He is. He's going to... Oh, don't... Oh, not a place to pass there. He's going to try and set him up for the slingshot down in the Castrol curve. I don't think he's close enough, though. Just lost a little bit of time there through the last turn. He's got a massive slipstream now. He's going to have to send it pretty deep if he wants to get... Yeah, he thinks better of it. He's a long-term player, the Cyborg. You don't win as many championships as he's done by sending it on every chance you get.
I can tell you, Brocky had an off in this race and it cost him a fair amount of time, and he's only 10 seconds off the lead. So any other driver comes off the track, race over. Brocky's still within a podium at the moment.
Oh, let's be honest, here, Troy, if it was me or you, we probably would have quit by now.
Really bad internet issues.
Yep.
We also got Speedy Tyres in 6th, so he's not far from Brocky as well.
He is the Battle TX race all over, getting all over the back of Corgi here now. He's going to have to make this move very quickly.
Yep, the tyres are coming into play right now.
Yep. Will Corgi make it? Oh, look at the flash of the lights from GTR as well. Just to say, do you know who I am? I am the two-time champ. Get out of my way.
I don't think Corgi's going to give it up that easy.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a bit of a touch of the grass.
Whoa, that was as close as you get.
DJ's
Now he's...
with him behind too.
All right, 3.8 seconds he's got to find in 9 minutes. This is setting up to a grandstand finish, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason these guys are the top of the top, the best of the best.
And you know, Morgan up the front, he can drive anything. So once them tyres are gone and they're down to canvas, he's likely to still pull 11s.
Yep. Let's look at his lap times at the moment. Do you want to hear some crazy numbers? So from lap 18 to lap 25, the gap between Morgan's best and worst is 0.7. He's been in the 11s the whole time.
Well, he definitely knows what he's doing.
Gap's at 3.5. So it's... I thought it'd start really tumbling down, but it's not here. This is the key now for TX3. He can't overdrive here. He's still got to save a little bit of tyre, especially if he does catch him in the last lap or two. Something to fight with.
Alright, well, we've got some gaps. We might go back through the field a little bit. So we've still got Speedy Tyres and Brocky. Speedy Tyres has got around Brocky here.
He has. And Corey Hack's... Speedy Tyres got around Corey Hack. Speedy's on the charge! Of course, our third youngest S1 member.
We'll go back and see if we can grab it, because it was just down the main straight. So Speedy'd already got around Brocky, and he got the slipstream from Corey down the main straight to make that work. But he's pulling away, so he's got a far better car under him.
This is a great drive from Speedy in one of my absolute favourite livery cars as well. That Lightning Motorsport Merlin entry is an absolute thing of beauty. And I don't normally like green race cars, but that one looks fantastic.
So behind Brocky we have Muffin Man, who's a bit of a lonely race at the moment, but he's in 7th. D-Flow, one of the front runners in the qualifying, just struggling in the back half of the race.
Definitely agree with you there on Muffin Man. It's been a really nice drive. Kept himself pretty much out of trouble. Oh.
Diego has Karen slowly creeping up behind him. He's not going to want to lose 9th position, although he has his blinker on, so...
Oh no, he's going to the pits or he's playing the ultimate mind game here.
Does he fake it? He fakes it. So Karen in 10th.
He's still got the blinker on though.
Yep, he's too busy concentrating, doesn't want to look at where the button is. We've got Lucky down in 11th. He's all by himself as well. No one around as far as he can see. DJ Brain, who is probably in the mix just after Corgi now. So he's been lapped up to 3rd. Not the best of races for DJ, but it's not the best of tracks for some people.
Up the front, the gap's down to 2.5. 5 minutes 50 remaining. Let's look at last lap times here. TX3 did a 1:11.2. Morgan did a 1:11.7. Based on those numbers, it will come down to most likely the last lap here. Morgan's probably going to start feeling the pressure now. He's going to see that gap coming down all the time.
And those softs are going to get looser and looser lap by lap.
Corgi looks pretty much comfortable here in 3rd position. You can lock that one up. Speedy in 4th. Beautiful drive from Speedy. Cyborg there in 5th. 5th again, he'll be saying. Bloody hell.
Yep. Not the way he wanted to start the season. We know Rocky always likes to get out and make a statement. It just hasn't run his way yet, but he will come out swinging in probably round 3.
I'll tell you what, he hasn't dropped Corey Hack here either. Corey's really hanging on to the back of him as much as he can.
Big job from Speedy.
And the big news there is the Muffin Man is on better tyres than both of them, and he's only 3 seconds off. Now, it might sound a lot, but the cliff could be huge.
Now, I'm not sure if I'm seeing this right. It looks as though DJ Rain is catching Corgi, and he's a lap down.
Yep. I think that's good for DJ. This will be great experience for him to catch one of the fastest guys going around in Australia. This will be great knowledge. He'll learn his lines, pick up where he's fast. It'll give him a lot of confidence as well. And make him, he'll probably be in Group B for the next round and be very hard to beat as well. But up the front, it's getting interesting. It's under 2 seconds now.
Just looking in chat, Adam saying, can't believe how good Morgan is on warm tyres. I can't believe how good Morgan is on warm tyres either, because he just seems to be able to keep the car at the same pace.
If you want to know how bad Morgan's tyres are, his rear left is a quarter white.
Right, so he's going to have to start driving conservatively, because they've got at least 4 laps to go. Roughly 4 laps. They might only make 3 actually. The gap's down to 1.7. Either way, it's a great drive from Morgan. He'd done a full stint on softs, and on medium, and now full stint on softs.
There you go. He's just dipped into the first 12 of this stint. That is amazing. There's no other words to describe this stint from Morgan. We all love a hero stint here at S1, and this has been this will be talked about for a long time. This is one of the classics.
Although it looks as though TX3 slowing up a little bit too. His last was 11.7. And then we go back to Corgi. Corgi's last lap was a 12.3, so he's not far off the pace either. They're definitely running fast tyres for a big long stint.
Rocky in 4th now. Speedy's had a moment. We missed it. Speedy must have had a moment. He has. His last lap was a 1:24.1. Oh no.
But Muffin is right there. There's 2 laps to go.
Yep. Muffin's coming into this. He's very much coming into this. Muffin could be on for a 4th position here because Coriac is not letting Brocky go here.
All it's going to take is for them to battle a little bit, and we know what that does. It just brings the driver behind straight up to them. All right, back up the front. It looks really close now. We're down to
1.2. Yep. Last lap time to 112.3 for Morgan, a 111.8 for TX3. It's now under a second, but he's only got a minute 45 remaining, so this is 2 more laps. And there's the great Murray Walker did say, catching is one thing, getting past is a completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah,
and just add a little bit more spice to the mix. TX3 is on the light. Is on the fuel light.
Oh no.
Morgan is fine. He can drop the hammer. He's got plenty of fuel, which is something you don't often say about a Deeds car. Has TX3 got his numbers all wrong here?
This will be the penultimate lap. So he's got to try and make it get around to the end. It's probably
What is he?
Probably on fuel trim 6 and still going
Yep.
faster than what we could do.
Yep, pretty much. Just to make us all feel really good about ourselves.
Under a second now, and it's coming down still. I tell you what, he's not giving up. He's going to roll to the end from the closing corner.
People in chat saying you can do 2 laps on the light, no stress. Yeah, that's all well and good when you're running on your own. But when you got the pressure on and you're banging every gear and you're not really thinking about fuel saving.
I tell you what, Morgan, he's probably going to hold on to this.
He is, because this could be the last lap. Looking at the timer at the moment, I think Morgan might have this. He's going to bloody win this thing. Oh, but TX3 gets a huge run into the final turn. Morgan now, he's going to hold on. TX3, they're both on the dirt, but Morgan's going to win it. What a drive from Morgan. Absolutely amazing. TX3 will finish in second. Third is going to be Corgi. Great drive from Corgi. Brocky will finish in 4th position. 5th will be the Muffin Man.
Maybe.
Oh, no, maybe not. Muffin gets 4th. What a drive from Muffin. Right on the line. Brocky in 5th. 6th is Coriac. 7th will be Speedy Tyres. He'll be spewing about that. 8th will be D-Flow. 9th will be Karen. 10th will be Diego. Lucky in 11th. And 12 will be DJ Brain. But what a drive from Morgan. Stunning.
I'm not sure what happened there on the finish line. It looked like Brocky might have hit the brakes to let him past.
Oh,
Or
controversial.
run out of fuel. But Lucky comes around. DJ's already passed. He overtook Corgi for 3rd to get 12th still. But Lucky rounds out the finish of the race. So that was exciting from start to finish. And then, Morgan holds on.
What a drive from Morgan.
Jump back to the victory there.
He went up 4 positions in that race as well. Fantastic drive.
The big glitch going on at the moment. But yeah, what a drive. I mean, a one stop and it come down to the wire and there was nothing in it.
Now, I am going to break my rule a little bit here, but for championship-wise, I'm pretty sure we'll still have Corgi maybe in the lead, with Morgan and TX3 are going to be right there. So at the moment, it's looking like a 3-way battle for the lead, but we're not going to go too early because I do believe that the Cyborg will find something.
Yeah, he always does.
Mm.
But what a race. Let's recap the results. So we already know the first 2 because it was all about the end there. But we have Davey gets first, TX3 for second, Corgi for third, Captain Muffin for 4th. Not sure what happened on the line there with Captain and Brocky, but Brocky took 5th. Corey Hack for 6th, big drive for Corey. 7th was Speedy Tyres, who'd be spewing because he was well up the front and was pulling away from Brocky and Corey at one stage. And a little mistake we missed, and he seemed to have dropped back to 7th. D-Flow for 8th. Karen for 9th, Diego for 10th, Lucky for 11th, and DJ for 12th, with TX3 with the fastest lap on lap 25 with an 11.0.
Oh.
Oh. So, there you have it. Round 2, Group A, run and done, and it didn't let us down either. And I'm also happy that my biggest happiness for the night is my volumes are all good.
Driver of the day, I think, is going to be pretty tough, but look, it's really hard to go past Morgan there. I mean, that was one of the best stints we've seen here at Sector 1 in a long time. That was a true hero stint. Special shout out to the Muffin Man. Thought that his drive into 4th was a fantastic drive as well. But Morgan Davey, take your hat off, sir. That was an absolute masterclass in car control.
Also, probably a shout out to the GOAT too. He didn't last too long in that race, and it's a big hit in points when you drop out. So hopefully he can keep his head up and jump in round 3 and gain some points back to get back into Group A. So I'm sure he'll be down in Group B now. My driver of the day, I'm going to give to Davey as well. One stop and 20 minutes on softs. I mean, he just knows how to drive them cars, doesn't he?
Seeing a few guys saying if Brocky didn't drop a wheel off, it would have been a three-way battle. Well, they do say, though, to finish first you must finish. But, yeah, definitely very uncharacteristic, but I'm sure he'll analyse, dust it off. He'll come back bigger and better for the next round. Where are we going the next round, by the way?
Oh, you can't put me on the spot like that.
Oh, come on, mate.
I couldn't even tell you.
I'll find out. I've got the skills to do this. I can do it. We are heading to Circuit de Catalunya in Spain, or España. But before that, of course, next weekend will be the Group B boys. I'll be jumping in the Porsche, since Ragged Edge are carrying me this season, I'll try and not completely cock it up.
So, big thanks for jumping in the box, Sean. Last minute decision we needed a race director, and it's always good to have you in here. Same for Adam as well. 2 weekends in a row now. He's had to stream last weekend. He's been put on the spot to RD as well tonight. So thank you too for jumping in. Thanks to all the viewers as well. It's good to have a good night of racing that's been almost server free of problems. 90%. There's still a couple of dramas we had with a couple of drivers that had to drop out, but other than that, it's been pretty good. Anything you'd like to add?
Oh, just, to echo those thoughts, massive thank you to all the viewers. You guys are amazing, as always. You smash that like button, which you see. Someone has smashed the dislike button, so we'll find them and make sure we belt down their door. Huge thank you to the racers tonight, I want to say, especially to the top 2 there in TX3 and Morgan. That was an absolute pleasure to call. Enjoyed every second of that. The throat's going to pay for it tomorrow, but it's a labour of love. So definitely looking forward to that. Be sure to join us next week for Group B. Massive thank you to all our sponsors as well. Massive thank you to Troy for all the amazing work he does. Thank you to Adam as well. It's always good to have Adam in the box with his smooth, dulcet Kiwi tones. And other than that, thank you to the racing gods. And don't forget, Formula Mercedes tonight. And watch Lewis Hamilton win by 45 seconds. Calling it now.
All right, well, I think that brings us to the end of the show. And we'll be back next Sunday night. And I believe it'll be Jimmy calling the show, potentially. So, yeah, join us in next Sunday night and we'll see you all then.